What's up, you guys? It's Cookie Rot. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be looking at some of the chapters from Shonen Jump over from Sunday, the 20th. And originally this was going to be a stream, but I figured a stream would be too long, and I kind of wanted to jump into these and kind of give you guys my thoughts on some of the ones over here, the ones that I have been keeping up with, and the ones that I am caught up on. Eventually it's going to come to the point where there's going to be too much series to only talk about in one video, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit, but from right now, I mean, having 5 series makes it a lot easier. Considering for a few weeks it's only going to be down to 2, and we'll get to why that is in just a little bit. Well, no, I mean, it'll still be 5, because some series are pretty small, Phantom Series, shit like that, you know. But I figured it would be a good week to start off Shonen Sunday, because of these two guys right here, Boruto and Dragon Ball Super. Obviously are monthly serializations, so they're easier to. It's easier to kick off something like that with these guys. I actually didn't even think about this idea until after these chapters dropped, so it makes things a little easier that way. But let's actually jump into it. So I'm just gonna go from left to right here, starting off with Boruto, leaving off on the little invasion arc that they decided to do. This chapter was cool. The ending really surprised me. Oh, spoilers, by the way. In case you didn't, in case you stayed this long to figure out that there was, nah, but there's gonna be spoilers. There's gonna be a lot. I'll try to keep them to a minimum, just so that way, people have some incentive to actually go and read the chapter. But more of this is geared towards the people that are already caught up anyway, so we'll go from there. So obviously we're with Kawaki and fucking Naruto's new form, which actually decides to give out on him, because I think he gets knocked out here, doesn't he? Yeah, no, he does. Telling Kawaki to run. Him and Sasuke, I mean, that's basically all this is. It's just trying to buy that just enough time for Ishiki to fucking bite the dust, and they do really well at it. So for the chapter for Kishimoto to return in a story standpoint, I mean, this was quite the chapter to do so. I mean, going through, I mean, Kawaki not running was pretty predictable. Same with Naruto not actually fucking dying, but becoming a hostage. I mean, look at this guy right here. I mean, seriously. I mean, knocking this guy to the ground, really. But no, like I said, the ending of this chapter was something else entirely. Just the absolute fact that it seems like Momoshiki's taken over Boruto's body, which brings back to the blue eyes are going to be the downfall of everything that he loves, right? Especially with the news of Jump Festa, which we'll actually get to Jump Festa here in a minute as well, because we got some stuff to talk about with My Hero. No, I mean, with Jump Festa, with Boruto at least, saying that we're finally going to be hitting the time skip for him and Kawaki, basically a Boruto Shippuden, right? That's going to end up being really important. But the fact that Momoshiki took over Boruto's body, the fact that Sasuke's Rinnegan eye is now completely gone. For the people that do know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Sasuke whatsoever. So seeing this makes me laugh. I don't like Sasuke. I think he's better in Boruto. He's not the angsty little douchebag that he was from Naruto Shippuden. But right here, with him getting stabbed, I mean, this is a really good cliffhanger to leave off on, and I'm really excited. If I were to be guessing, this is probably Act 2 of this little arc here. Either that or just about to enter the final stage of this arc. I would not be surprised if we had a couple more arcs before we hit the time skip, only because I don't see how Chapter 1 makes any sense with Kawaki still pretty much being a good guy. Yeah, because, I mean, taking a look, right, at, I'm gonna have to click that one, but going all the way to Chapter 1, I mean, it doesn't make sense, because, unless they're trying to, make Kawaki an actual good guy, this whole colored page, I'll send you where I sent the 7th Hokage Boruto, it doesn't add up. This is the only possible outcome of the Age of Shinobi, so I mean, if this Boruto's the fucking guy to become fucking evil, I mean, they still need to try and, develop, Kawaki into an actual villain. Unless, of course, he isn't, but I don't see how that could even happen. Moving on, the Boruto was a lot of fun, definitely. So, Dr. Stone, we're still in the middle of the South America arc, which is cool, it's okay. I've been talking a little bit about this with a couple people, and Dr. Stone's pacing gets me sometimes. It really does. They've gone from a practical stone world to making fucking antibiotics for pneumonia to goddamn motorcycles. This doesn't make sense. Like, come on now. I know there's a science consultant, right? Like, they have those little footnotes in some of the chapters there that show that, like, they do their research and stuff like that, which is cool. And I love that they do that. But Dr. Stone, I mean, this is cutting it a little bit. This is definitely weird. It's not horrible. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely interesting still to have the 21st century knowledge in basically a 4000 BC world. It is the weirdest shit, but I definitely, this one's a lot of fun, especially because they can show just how, where's the page here, because they were saying about how, it was after Subika fell, so Subika falls, because little child can't hold on to the pulley, and, you know, Kohaku doing her little ninja badass shit, but she does end up explaining about how Zeno and Hyoga could betray them at any moment. Definitely could. I don't like this girl here though, the little navigator girl. Her character's too annoying for me. I don't like her, unfortunately. But of course, Boichi's art's always a treat. I don't think he ever does any bad drawings. I mean, that's granted, Shonen Jump doesn't really have bad drawings per se, and when it is, it's usually pretty intentional. But his art here, it's just weird. It's just, this chapter's fine. But this arc's kind of cool. Going to where the origin of the petrification device is. I mean, I could see Dr. Stone ending possibly within the next 2 years. I think that is a real possibility that Dr. Stone's gonna be either ending or reaching its climax, especially because now that Tsukasa's on their side and shit like that. It just it makes sense, especially now that they have the revival fluid. Fuck, they got planes, motorcycles and stuff like that. They've got boats. I mean, they traveled halfway around the fucking world. like, if they had enough of a production means, like, Senku could theoretically have that 7 million, or 7 billion, I'm sorry, done relatively quickly. Especially with his, like, 21st century knowledge, now having Dr. Zeno, in that little tag team there. I want to see more clashing of morals. I think bringing Tsukasa was too early. I don't think he was good as a beginning protagonist, only because of his morals and how much they conflicted with Senku. It doesn't work for me. I would have saved him as the final boss. Or keeping Stone Wars as the final boss, honestly. The final arc, I mean. I would have... that's how I would have personally written it. But, it makes sense in the long run on why he decided to do so, especially because they don't have that pseudo brute force and shit like that they would need to bring back everyone in a good amount of time. So it's fine. Like I said, the pacing is not my favorite thing in the world, but I mean it's okay. It is what it is. It really is what it is. But no, I mean it was fine this week. Dr. Stone didn't wow me like the last two chapters that we'll get into, but we do need to talk about We Never Learn because of this little thing here. And I thought for a solid minute that after Sensei's route that this was going to be the end. And so I saw next chapter and I thought, oh, well, he's not going to end it. This isn't how it's going to be. And luckily I was fucking wrong. I was really wrong. He ended it. So 187 chapters is how long this thing took. And I was gonna make a video on this, but I'll just knock this right out of the park. I think Ogata had the worst route. Her route was so sad that she didn't really get the spotlight until like 2 chapters before hers concluded. It made no sense. It wasn't good. There was no way that they could make hers well anyway. I think he knew that, and that's why he focused on her a little more, especially in like chapters 120 around there, during the Christmas arc and shit like that, where Ogata's like, oh, I don't love myself, and that whole dilemma in her head. The way that he wrote hers wasn't her route. It felt more like her friend's route, that wasn't any good. If I were a betting man when I was reading that, I would have said that she would have probably dumped Nariyuki to go for the woman. And I kind of wish that was the case, honestly. That would have been a really nice twist. Obviously, the anime did I want to say Uraraka, but that's not right because it's for My Hero. I think it's Uruka, I think her name was. Wasn't it Uruka? What the hell? Yeah, Uruka. But she, yeah, hers got adapted, which I think is funny. I wish that they would have kept the anime going so we could have seen all the routes. Especially because they decided to skip so much of the character development throughout the actual manga that it doesn't make any sense. They had an anime original ending, and the only reason that I would be okay with that happening was because of the manga endings routes. But I'm almost convinced that he wrote this in last minute because the backlash from the anime. I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. It would make sense. I think, at least. I'm gonna try to keep these open here so I don't have to sign back in. But, no, it doesn't make any sense for him to have already planned out routes 5, or actually 6 routes. The harem ending. Having a harem ending was really funny, I think, at least. To have that. Basically, all it rounded up to is that there are infinite endings, and that it's up to the reader to decide what ending that they like, or how high school would have ended for these guys. What's funny about these routes, I'm gonna go back here just a little bit. What's funny about these routes is that I never liked the senpai girl. I didn't like her until her route, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I think she's my second favorite besides Sensei's route. Sensei's route was a lot of fun. Switch these two around, and I think you've basically got the order there from worst to best. I didn't like her, so her route becoming as good as it wasn't fair. That wasn't okay. Also, the proportions on this one are way off. What the fuck? Anywho, and there goes monetization. These guys here, I mean, shoot, man. It was a lot of fun. I liked this series. I liked it a lot. But I don't know. I think that it probably should have ended. I think he should have made up his mind and just stayed with Uruka. I think that's where he should have stayed. I think he should have decided on a girl and stayed like that. If we were going just by development in the series as a whole, I probably would have been willing to bet that it was going to be one of these two that took him. Especially because they were the first ones introduced and stuff like that. I'm really disappointed that, especially Ogata's route, that her route wasn't as good. Especially because they were always, the main 3 that were competing for him. So I thought it would always make the most sense to have them be the girls to end up finishing, having the little duke out type of thing, one of them being the actual main girl. Especially because, like Quintessential Quintuplets did, because he actually came up with an ending. He knew which one that he wanted. And I think having the balls to actually pick one of the 5 made more sense in the long run. But that's my take. Overall, fun little manga. Read it if you can. But no, I mean, that's all I really got for that one. 18 minutes. This is gonna be a long video. My Hero. I'm gonna try and speed through Super, I think, because I think it's gonna be easier to do. Especially because I've got a lot to talk about with My Hero. Not that I didn't have a lot to talk about with the first 3, but My Hero. We're gonna go basically page by page on this guy. Not page by page, but Deku has spider sense. Compress is gonna fucking die, which sucks. I mean, this man literally threw off his ass to go almost, what? I almost lost his power. I think it was to I don't even know, but it's dialogue heavy. But it's okay. Especially because they ended this in the terms of his story and what My Villain Academia was, that you can't make him seemingly become a good guy. You can't turn him into like a Piccolo or a Vegeta. I don't think that's going to be a natural way to do things. If anything, I would see him maybe like trying to force All For One out of his body, but I don't think Shigaraki is going to do that whole 180 type of thing. I think in terms of what he will do, he'll probably end up making that big old sacrifice in order to be one for all. But, or All For One, I'm sorry. I think it's basically confirmed at this point that All For One is going to be the final villain. It's not going to be Shigaraki, I don't think. He might be using Shigaraki as a vessel in the final fight, but he won't be the one. He will be the one to be the final villain, I think. I personally believe that's the biggest possibility there, is that Shigaraki here is going to be the one that ends up being the main bad. Not Shigaraki, but All For One's still going to be the main bad. And I think it works that way. If I were a betting man, Shigaraki's going to be the vessel. All For One's going to be the main bad. Shigaraki is going to do something to sway the odds in Deku's favor when he finally has that final battle. For now, we have 4 of the 8 powers manifesting in Deku, especially because the Spidey Sense just dropped. But no, I mean, overall, I mean, there's a lot to go on here. Compress is fucking dead. There's no way. There's no way Compress makes it out of here alive. Especially because half of his fucking body is gone. You can see the trees coming out of him. It's no good. I like that shot of Mirio. Mirio being a Chad that he is, I don't mind that he's back at all. Could they have given more time for why he's back? Absolutely. They could always give more time to develop him and Eri and Eri's training, and maybe one of these days we'll get a little more. I doubt it, but maybe we will. But Spinner's probably gonna be the, like, like, if you're looking at, like, let's go with Frieza Saga, for example. Spinner, actually, back up. If, let's say, All For One is Frieza, then Shigaraki's probably Ginyu. If I'm being honest, Shigaraki's probably Ginyu. But that's probably what it comes down to, is that he's like the right-hand man type of shit. There's the main antagonist, and there's like the guy that's gonna be by his side. Or it would be like, fucking Obito to Madara. Like, that type of relationship, if you get what I mean. But no, I mean, I think the way that they're gonna wrap this up is really good. I think it's a really good idea. But I think at the same time, this is where we need to talk about Jump Festa. With that little statement that the manga's probably coming to an end here. I agree with the majority consensus that we're probably getting a time skip. And we're probably getting a time skip into everyone being an adult. Because we don't need any more of UA, I don't think. Where they're going to implement the time skip, I'm not entirely sure. But I think it's a pretty safe bet. I think it's a safe bet to say that the time skip is on its way for My Hero. Now, how long the time skip's going to be, I think that's up to a lot of different interpretations and a lot of predictions. But I definitely think that I think a 99% bet that My Hero is going to end up coming into a time skip. But good chapter. Eventually I'm going to do a video just kind of giving my overall thoughts on the arc, where we're going from here. And that'll probably be where I sort of discuss with other people on what they think about this, and also again, where do we go? Where do we go after? Dragon Ball Super, we're gonna go short and sweet. Miras is back. I don't like that Miras is back. He should not be back. He should have stayed dead. But it's Dragon Ball. No one stays dead. But I mean, what do you do? What do you do? Nah, but having Miras come back was a fucking dumb decision, because there's no consequences anymore now, right? Like, fucking, that was only the real big consequence of Moro, was Miras being up and deleted. So, for him to not be deleted anymore is fucking stupid. He should have stayed dead, I think. I mean, him being immortal, I guess, is fine. I mean, it's not bad. But, like, it's still dumb. It's still dumb, and I hate that he's still here. But it was really, but no, that's it for the Moro arc. No consequences. Again, it's stupid. He should have stayed dead. But moving on. So you're going to Jocko, and Jocko's at the Galactic Patrol. A few months after Moro. Or no, is this after a few months? Yeah, it should say a few months later somewhere. Maybe, okay, a few months later is right there. So, they're talking to the prisoner. The prisoner's like, Ayo, I want more food, yada yada yada. But we killed our pals. They don't know if 7-3 is completely dead, which then goes into the start of the new arc, right? Which talks about oatmeal and granola, which if you've been reading Dragon Ball at any capacity, it's known for its puns upon puns upon puns upon more puns. So oatmeal and granola obviously are puns on oats and shit like that. So talking about that, they're talking about 7-3 and all that shit. And Granola is on his way to grab 7-3. He's got a little guy in his communicator type of thing, trying to identify for 7-3, OG20, OGIW, OG51, shit like that. An OG73I is exactly what he wanted, right? There in the middle, with a whole ton of armies of 7-3s, which is cool, and I really like that they have that there. And it's going to be really interesting to figure out what Granola is there for, why he wants 7-3, and what he's planning to do. Obviously he's our main antagonist, right? Or if he's not the main antagonist, he's going to be some driving force, especially because 7-3 is maybe not evil. I guess we'll see. We can do a whole separate video on what this guy's gonna do, but I just don't think we have enough information to actually make any sound predictions yet, without going too far into the realm of impossibility. But it's interesting. I mean, this man just staged a whole invasion for all this, which is nice, and I love it. His design reminds me a lot of Few. His personality reminds me a lot of Few. And actually, I think the way he he doesn't, because he doesn't look strong by any means. So we'll see. We'll see how he does. But for now, he looks really... I'll edit that. But for now, he looks really interesting, and I'm excited to see where he sort of goes from here. And then obviously, I mean, Jump Festa didn't really do anything for Dragon Ball Super besides reruns. So if they do anything, I'm maybe expect an anime announcement next Jump Festa, but unless we get a confirmation of either of Digimon ending, I don't expect Super to be coming back just yet. Toei isn't dumb enough to not bring it back, considering it's their biggest media fucking franchise besides One Piece. Obviously, because One Piece brings in a lot of money in Japan and shit like that. Maybe not worldwide, although I'm curious on what Stampede brought in. Actually, let me go ahead. How much did One Piece Stampede make? So, no, I mean, they'd be stupid not to bring it in, because, I mean, if you look here, right, Broly did better in Japan, but better by a pretty big margin worldwide. The Stampede didn't do all that bad either. Actually doing better in Japan than Broly did, but did a little worse worldwide. But honestly, I mean, if I'm being like truly honest, One Piece Stampede was easily the better movie. That was a fantastic film. It was so much fun. I mean, you're looking at the celebration of the anime's 20th anniversary, so I mean, that movie was going to be huge regardless. But I believe this one was a celebration as well, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't this the 25th movie? I think? No, it's the 20th film. So they both have 20 films? No, they both don't have 20 films. Wait a minute. No, this is 20 years. So that's the anime itself celebration. And then this is the celebration for being the 20th Dragon Ball movie. Okay. Obviously, if you've seen all the Dragon Ball movies, I mean, some are better than others, but I mean, Broly's definitely the biggest spectacle. It's not even a comparison. Just how much of a difference there is between those two movies. Between all the movies at points. Maybe one of these days I'll do a tier list on that. But for now, this was definitely one of the better intros to an arc. I think the only better intro that might have been was the fucking Galactic Patrol arc with Goku trying to sense Moro and Moro sensing him right back. I thought that one's so funny. That's such a funny panel. Just to see Goku surprised as Moro just locks dead on with him. That shit was funny. But no, this chapter was cool. It's a cool setup. But there's not a lot. There's not a lot to go off of. It's just because 45 pages. We only actually get granola for, I think, about 12 pages. Which 12 out of 45 is not a lot. But that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. It's an anime, part of an anime episode. I think that would probably roughly go about 12 minutes or so. So no, but I mean, we'll see what happens with this chapter. I think my favorite this week was probably My Hero. That the conclusion for the war arc, or if it's not the conclusion, it's easily the turning point towards the conclusion of that arc. I mean, Dragon Ball Super's probably one of the bottom ones, honestly. But, maybe I won't even rank them. I mean, it was a really good week in Jump, 100%. Especially, I mean, with those 5 at least being, or the most popular series, right? They were definitely the most fun. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought on the chapters that you guys read in Jump. What did you guys think about Granola's introduction? What did you think about people starting to disappear off the battlefield? And what do you think is going to be happening with My Hero, especially because of the hangar that they left us on and the battlefield seemingly being empty now, now that the chaos has sort of died down? What do you guys think about all that? Make sure to let me know in the comment section down below, and I will catch you all in the next video.